Yes, welcome, 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 welcome to Satsang and meditation. And welcome everyone who joins us around the world today, tonight, for some of you in Europe this morning. It's always a beautiful opportunity to be together and to move within. In day-to-day life, most of our energy goes out. And very often we forget ourselves, we forget our center, we forget the source, we forget from where all experience arises. And we start creating the first illusion that things outside of ourselves are responsible for how we feel. What a strange setup, no? And our mind deeply believes, no? Things, situations, people make me feel good. Things, situations, people make me feel bad. And everything happens in us. Everything is sourced in our deepest being. And how often do we forget? How often do I forget? So these meetings are just such a good opportunity to remember. Today I had a beautiful session with a friend from Sydney, and the topic is somehow continuing inside of me, the famous topic of love. What is love? Does love have any conditions? What is relationship? Do I need to be faithful in my relationship? Is that love? Or is that an arrangement for the ego to feel safe? Many interesting questions. And everyone here, and probably everyone that listens, has a different opinion about that, until we realize, can we have any opinion about love? Love is who we are. Can it be bad, good, right, wrong, high, low? How does it manifest through this body-mind? What do I understand what love is? Does my partner understand the same way? And then probably we come to the conclusion that everybody has their own idea. And only when there's no more idea, there's a recognition that we have always been love. Love not as a person, not as a romantic expression of an emotion, but as the very essence of our being. And strangely enough, the clearer that recognition becomes, the more we see love reflected in everyone and everything that we experience. Anybody has that? Yeah, it's like there are days usually. It's like our states are shifting, and there are some days where there's no question. Everything returns itself to you as love. And as long as we still have a mind that can analyze, the mind will want to make something out of it. So the mind says, now I got it. And if it's in relationship, now I found the love of my life. But whatever the I has found, the I will lose. That's the agony of love. And whatever the I has allowed to destroy itself will stay. Was it too complicated? Are you following me in that? Mm. Yeah. Mm. So it's a very strange setup of this divine existence, no? That it gives us little pointers of our true nature. Otherwise we wouldn't seek. No? And then we come to a place where there's either our true nature or there is I. When I is there, the true nature is hidden. When I is not there, there's pure space and true nature. Wonderful riddles that no mind ever could unriddle. That's the joy. That's the joy of satsang. You know, satsang can point us again and again to the inexpressible, to the wonderful mystery that brings poems to the poet's lips, that brings songs to the songwriter, that brings creativity and art to the painter, to the musician, to all these incredible expressions. I remember, you know, once in one of the courses I had, I can't remember where it was, it happened again and again. There's a lot of reflection of love, especially in these meetings. And then Rahasya becomes a projection screen for love. Now for the ego it's very gratifying. This is probably why many people love to be a guru, because everybody projects their love on them if they have some realizations. And then they project their disappointments on the guru if they don't get it. But deeper than that, on the other side, when I'm not there and I'm with a group of people, there is so much love. And then I get asked, you know, how can you love so many people? Is that possible? Shouldn't you only love one person? And then we mix up relationship love, the sexual connection, with the essence of who we are. Now, if poor Melly would be the only one, the only receiver of the love that I am, she would be totally overwhelmed? Maybe not. Because it's just too much. So, thanks God, existence has given me many outlets, outlets of love that then gets reflected back. And I feel it's really not my doing, it's just what happened, and I call it grace, that it happened. And then it doesn't really matter if there's 2 people or 200 people. But the gratitude that love can be shared is immense. So I'm incredibly grateful that you guys are here, and that there may be a few people looking with me, because it's the same love. And it's amazing that it can happen through a screen. Spreading as a wonderful wave around this planet. And perhaps this is one of the possibilities. The friends sitting here, most of you are in one way or the other contributing to love on the planet. And I think it's a wonderful balance to all the crazy stuff that happens. Beautiful India is really close to my heart now. I don't know if you heard the news, but India is kind of totally overwhelmed by the virus, and all the hospitals are packed, and there's no more oxygen, and many things are missing that could save people. India, which for me has been kind of the hub, the source of awakening, the land where the inner search for centuries has become the most important thing. It reminds me when we were in Oneness University and we met with this guy, Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins was really kind of very taken by the sharing of the blessings, because the Oneness blessings was one way to share love. And it was very powerful. And we had a darshan with Bhagwan, who is the founder of Oneness University. After Tony Robbins had a darshan with Bhagwan. And it was very funny, because Bhagwan said, Rahasya and Nura, you are not Westerners. You are more like Indians. Because you come here and you put everything everything in your life in the search of your inner freedom. So the meditation, the dedication to inner growth is for freedom. Tony Robbins told me about the Western mind looks for enlightenment so that he can make more money. Because if you're an enlightened guru, you can have a lot of disciples that can give you many donations. And the way he said it was like, okay, so search has different goals. And what astonished me in this, that there was no judgment about it. It was, it's just a different mindset. And we are not the mind. So I'm sorry, if you're here to make more money, it probably won't work. But maybe. And love and money has been so mixed up. In most families, love has been confused with money, and money has become the power to manipulate, which is, of course, happening in the whole world right now. And I think it's very beautiful if we can revive the true love that we already are. And for that, for tonight, Steve created this incredible decoration of the candle with all pink flowers, unconditional love in every form. And in the center of the pink is the yellow, the joy and gratitude of being able to share your beauty. That's what these flowers are teaching us. The joy and gratitude to share your beauty. That's actually a beautiful invitation to you all. The joy and gratitude, not to get anything. We already have more than we could even imagine. But just the joy of sharing whatever you are. And it doesn't mean you have to kind of sit on the couch and play wise. That's just that's just one game. Just holding a friend's hand. Just listening to somebody. Even if the mind says this is all rubbish and it's all your mind and why don't you wake up? Don't listen to your mind, just be present to that person. That's more than we can expect. So, with the pink flowers came the pink pomander. Pink pomander, in the language of Arasoma, is the vibration of unconditional love. Now, what does it mean? It means the pointer to who we are in essence. And from the language of color point of view, it's red with light in it, which means it's life energy in the physical body, because in the red it's where life embodies itself, and the light still shines through and shows us that we are not just the body, that the body in this lifetime is just a vehicle for the divine love to express itself, because the divine or God or goddess or existence or whatever you call it, consciousness, has no other form than our form. If you take the name God for it, it gets really intense. God doesn't have any other form than yours and mine to express itself. That's why the Sufis chant La ilaha illallah. There is nothing in the whole existence than God. So that cancels that bearded man sitting in the cloud and watching you if you do something wrong or right. That's an idea. The divine existence, the godliness is apparent everywhere. And it's beyond right and wrong, and beyond good and bad, and beyond healthy and sick, and beyond all duality. And the amazing thing is that we privileged people can realize this, as even while we are in an apparent separate body, in an apparent separate personality. it's such a puzzle and such a mystery and such a grace. And if you just allow your mind to surrender to that possibility that the eyes through which you are looking are the eyes of the divine, just check into that for a moment. That's why in India, at the time when they were counting gods, there were 30,000 gods, 300,000 gods, because there were 300,000 people. Now there are a few billion gods, because there are a few billion people. When we look with these eyes, and it's just a tiny little shift, no? When we look with these eyes, then the person behind the eyes is just a passage for that which is closer than the person. Which is our divinity. But their language becomes really limited because there's no me and you. There's just divinity experiencing itself through every sense. And that's the whole insight of Tantra. All these fancy words. Tantra is the most simple approach to life. Everything is as it is, and everything that is divine, and everything you meet is a part of you because it's part of your divinity. And every human expression, and in the Tantra that includes the sexual energy, also the sexual energy is a divine energy that in its refinement can take us from sex to love, to devotion, to God. It's the same energy. But very, very few have discovered the beauty of this. But hopefully more and more people are discovering it. These days there's a lot of talk about global warming, a lot of talk about how can we support the earth. There's a lot of talk about earth meditations, like the honoring of the Divine Mother. It's the same thing. It's a recognition that this earth is not just a material ball that floats through space. It is a living organism. It is a living entity. It is our mother. We are part of it. The body is part of it. And the way we treat our body is actually also the way we treat the earth. And now so many things are coming to the surface that were always happening, but nobody knew about it or nobody bothered about it. All the violence, the sexual abuse, the domestic violence, and all these things that make you sad when you listen to the radio. It's all a misunderstanding of who we are. So, pink is a beautiful attunement possibility. And there is this expression, think pink, or the person looks through pink glasses. and it gets kind of ridiculed when somebody sees more the bright side of life. So it can be a trip, but also it can be a deep recognition of the truth of things. So tonight I'd like to share with you the pink pomander, and it's a beautiful little ritual through which you can attune to the vibration of unconditional love. Unconditional love means unconditional, which means it is before we were conditioned. Before we were conditioned as a child, we had no idea of good and bad, of right and wrong, of high and low, of close and distant. We had no idea of these poles that then create the separation that we experience as a human being. And then unconditional love has also been misunderstood a lot. In a way, in the New Age, unconditional love has become a strategy to cover up whatever we don't want to see, like positive thinking to an extent. It's not a cover-up. It's an attunement to a deeper essential state that we all know. We know it when we're asleep. Literally, when the body sleeps, there's no sense of self. You can't even remember your name. You don't remember your problems. You don't remember the fight you had with your boss. Everything disappears, and yet you're still there. If you like, we could call this unconditional love. You're completely empty, and yet you are. I don't know if that happens to you sometimes. Like this morning I woke up and actually I didn't wake up. It felt like there is nothing here, and yet I am. Anybody has that sometimes? It's like you look for something that can reflect itself and create an identity, and you don't find it. No. And it's not unpleasant. It's very beautiful. It's like you look in, and all you see is a huge, huge infinity. And you wonder how this body was ever able to move at all. And then you realize it is moving, it's breathing. But who is breathing? A big hole is breathing? Who is beating the heart? Who is aware of thought? Who is aware of feeling? And the whole just stays, and the whole would say, well, I am, but is there an I? So if that happens to you, don't get frightened. It's one of the very beautiful possibilities to get a taste of awakening. Did anybody had that? Good. Shall we try? Can you stand up? Make your left palm available. And you're going to get a few drops of unconditional love into your palm. And when you receive it, rub it into your palm. Close your eyes. And just feel into that vibration. And the friends around the world, you can imagine a beautiful, warm, pink fragrance in your hands so that you can rub your hands together, you can close your eyes, and you can raise your arms high above your heads and give it away to the world. Just allow that pink ray of light to travel from your left hand all around the earth back into the right hand. So we feel the whole planet is surrounded by a net of pink light, touching all beings and reminding them of one of their essential qualities, which is unconditional love. So together we can form like a net of light that touches all beings around the planet. And then you can hold your palms above your crown facing downward. Imagine you're standing under a shower of pink rose petals that just float through your aura and fall like gentle rain, clearing and cleaning your aura. And then, as you come closer to the energy field around your head, you can clear your aura through the temples, through the back of the head. From here we can let go of whatever lies behind us, through the frontal area. Bringing your palms together above the crown in the symbolic gesture of oneness. Then as you come to your third eye, imagine you can draw the curtain of all your identifications so that we can begin to see clearly the reality as it is, beyond identification. And clearing your face and clearing your throat, another curtain to open, the curtain of all our beliefs that in the past have defined our identity. And when we look beyond beliefs, we see a vast sky, a vast potential of creativity, of expression, of truth. It's in the throat that we can experience truth directly. And then clearing your shoulders and arms. And then when you come to the heart, clearing the outer layers of the heart. Another curtain to be drawn, the curtain of all the shoulds and the should nots that cover the heart. How many times in our life have we heard we should be, we should not be? And yet underneath the heart is innocent. We see it in little children before they have learned should and should not. There's an open, clear, compassionate innocence that has its own intelligence. That's why often little kids speak the clear truth. And let your hands rest over your heart for a moment. Receiving that pink ray deep in the silence of the heart. And perhaps you can feel your heart respond to this vibration. And then we can move to the solar plexus, unarmoring ourselves, taking off all our protection and shields, laying down our weapons, releasing all our strategies of separation, so we can contact the pure joy of being an individual and the strength and the power of it, and the vulnerability. And moving with the pink to your lower belly. This is where the pink is also at home. The unconditional love, even of that little inner child within. The love to all the wounds that perhaps have been inflicted through unconscious people. Touching in a loving way any hurt, any resentments, any psychological pain, and as it opens, it can heal. Unconditional love is the greatest healing force. Moving down to the first chakra. In the pink, there's a lot of red. Love to this body, love to your sexual energy, love to life itself. Along the legs, all the way down, until we connect with Mother Earth. And this is an important moment to let go. Letting go of any identifications, letting go of any thoughts, any feelings, any experiences. Just letting go, just becoming empty, pouring it all back to the earth. So for a moment we can become completely empty. Empty, empty, empty. And you will see, when we're completely empty, I'm still here. What is this? What is still here when everything is gone? This is who we are. So as you come up, allow that pink ray, that pink light to rise inside your body, from your feet all the way up, completing in an open gesture that is natural to you. And then bringing your palms to your nostrils and taking 3 deep breaths of this fragrance into the temple of the body. Very good. And then we can sit. And you can close your eyes as the deepest meeting with yourself is inside. Taking a few deep breaths. And just being here. remembering that in meditation we are not looking for anything. We are not going anywhere. We're allowing everything to be as it is. The moment, when I say everything, I'm talking about our inner experience. In the outer world, we can change things. In the inner world, when we allow everything to be as it is, or as Tilopa shares with us in his book on Tantra, when we are loose and natural, then the crystallized personality that appears to be a separate entity simply melts. When we relinquish all resistance to what is, we become fluid. There's no more hindrances. We become like water. If a river meets a rock in the middle of the river, it just flows around it. Just being here, being loose and natural. Then naturally all boundaries begin to dissolve. And it seems like a pathway opens, which is just a picture or an image. Reality is more mysterious. There's kind of an opening inwards. And as we allow that inward movement and we let things be as they are, we naturally melt deeper and deeper. We could use any energy center, any chakra, to enter, as some of us have discovered that at this core, at the center, is always emptiness. Now the easiest, the most direct way within for some of us is the heart. So feel your heart. Feel this area in the center of your chest, that all around the world, with most human beings, this center, the heart, is synonymous with love, with compassion, with gratitude, with tenderness, with love. So feel your heart, because feeling is one of the layers of the heart. And with each out-breath we can imagine to melt deeper into the heart. And we begin to recognize that the heart is not really an object or a substance, it is more like an opening. A passage through the body, through the heart, into eternity. Into silence. And here perhaps a direct experience that the climate that emerges we could call love. But a very different kind of love than the romantic relationship love. More the silent space of being. The depths of presence. That doorway to the mystery that we could call divine. And following that discovery that wherever our attention goes is where our energy flows towards. As we rest with the heart, in that resting is a deepening. Deeper than thoughts that move on the sky of the mind. Deeper than feelings that come and go like different climates and weathers. Deeper than body sensations. Deeper than the breath. Deeper than the heartbeat. Deeper than all experience. Rest here for a while. As each out-breath takes us even deeper. Feel this peace. Feel this field of silence beyond this room, connecting to all the friends in this meditation. And even further, connecting with the silence of the whole universe. Consciousness like a lake with no ripples, a pure mirror. When nothing is reflected in the mirror is empty. Whatever appears in front of the mirror is reflected. Consciousness is like a mirror. Feel into the aliveness of this silence. And from that depths inside, we can take a deeper breath. Very gently becoming aware of the body again. Maybe just moving your fingers or toes a little bit. And as you come back from the depths of your inner spaciousness, bring with you the joy, the gratitude, the peace, the love, the flowers you have found on the way in. Until you find a good moment to open your eyes to a new moment here. And another deep breath and a good stretch back into the body. I want to dedicate the light of the candle today to unconditional love, and specifically to send a wave of healing and love to eternal India, that's at least some of the suffering will be relieved through the recognition of their true nature. So we can open this if you have anything you would like to share here in the round, or anyone that is with us online tonight. Any sharing, any insight, any question, any doubt. And Steve is here, he can read your comments if you have anything to say online. Yes.
If I can speak.
It's hard to bring words into the silence, no?
Ishka Nase.
Ishka. Ishkala Mabudala. Yes, Ishka.
She says, today I learned when I go to that familiar place of it's all too hard, I can't keep going. What is really being offered for my recognition is that which I am pushing against is too hard, and I'm cutting my own oxygen off, going against my own natural flow. It has nothing to do with that, the object of my discomfort, a lovely breakthrough to my truth.
It's all too hard is such a common thought. Too hard for whom? Too hard for what? Existence doesn't know too hard, too good, too bad. It just doesn't know it. It only knows what is. So beautiful. I'm happy, Ishka. Ishq. You know, Ishka, it's such a beautiful name. Ishq is one of the 99 names of Allah. And Ishq is, I think, the best name for the love we mentioned today. Ishq. Ishq. Ishkala.
I have a question from Eva. Will there be any retreats in Sweden for no couples, or online retreats for no couples?
Yes, absolutely. We actually have a program called The Taste of Tantra in Sweden. Actually coming soon. I don't have the exact dates in my mind, but it is organized by beautiful Kandra and friends. And I don't know if Maria Paz is here tonight with us. If you're here, can you write the link how people can find that event? So there will be an open event one day, and then there will be 2 weekends. And the Taste of Tantra is not just for couples, it's also for singles. It's kind of an attempt to bring the understanding and wisdom of Tantra not just to couples but to everyone, because Tantra is not it's not just the sexual Tantra we talk about. Tantra is, for example, the meditation we just shared. Tantra is the art of being loose and natural. Is that difficult? No. It's our most natural state. We just have become unnatural because the ego cannot survive without becoming, without reaching, without future, without past, or in short, without the mind. So yes, we will have an event that is not just for Sweden, but it's organized by Swedish friends. It's also available all around the world for everyone who wants to link in. And I should actually have the dates with me, but Maria is not here. Okay, so I will hopefully send the link after this satsang. through Facebook. And hopefully you will find it, dear Eva. You may have noticed that, many times I feel tempted to mention Tantra because it's in a way a more feminine path. The masculine path, the masculine energy has kind of managed to destroy a lot of things in its unconsciousness. And the unconsciousness of the feminine has become pleasant. But when consciousness enters into the male and into the female, then we can really create paradise on earth, and it's not difficult. And when man and woman come together in consciousness, then real love is possible. Not the push-pull love, not the mutual control love, not the domination and victim love, but the freedom to be together and share in gratitude, in beauty, and in devotion. I think I mentioned it today, that magical ladder that Osho talked about in so many of his discourses, that the only energy we ever have is sexual energy. We're all made because our parents made love, if you have any doubt. So we are made from sex. So it's the most creative energy. It creates children when it comes kind of down and out, and it creates Buddhas when it goes in and up. So we will explore in these days of the taste of Tantra, we will explore the movement from sex to love, to prayer, or to devotion, to the divine, until we begin to see the divine in everyone, but first in our partner. Just sitting here, just merging into this presence. That's Tantra. Just being, not going anywhere. And the mystery of, just us being here, or the friends who connect with us, just being here. In non-doing, there is something happening that the mind overlooks very easily, because mind can only be here in becoming. In being, mind has no power. And then it becomes a servant to being. And you may notice that there's nothing we need to do to be love, to feel love, to experience love. I recently came across this beautiful music inspired by Moji. And there's this beautiful singer called Omkara. And she sings with such a devotion. I want to give you a little taste. The song is called Let Our Name Be Amen. Amen.
Let our lives be timeless gratitude and mighty joy. Let our heart be great peace and Holy Spirit. Let our name be. Amen.
Let our lives be timeless gratitude and mighty joy. Let our hearts be great peace and Holy Spirit. Let our name be Amen. 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 Hide me in your heart. Merge me in your being. Let our name be Amen.
O one and only, you are our sole refuge, light of our heart, the source of true love.
O one and only, you are our sole refuge, light of our heart, the
Yes, we love it. Thank you. Let our life be Amen. This is kind of such a wonderful expression of devotion to this incredible mystery we call life. So thank you for being here, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. And there will be a special event on Tuesday evening in Temple Byron. It will be Vesak, which is the Buddha full moon, which is the full moon where Buddha got enlightened, his birthday, his birthday and his death day. And I have a very powerful personal story around Vesak in May, full moon, which I'm going to share on Tuesday. And we're going to have a beautiful celebration of the Buddha, as Buddha kind of descends back in form through everyone who comes. So if you have time, join us. It will be at 6:30 in Temple Byron. Invite your friends. And then we have another satsang next Friday, and a few more on the coming Fridays. Thank you. Namaste. And thank you, all the friends around the world. Many blessings.